y'all doing? Welcome to the McDonald's Hacer Educational Tour virtual workshops. We are so excited that you're joining us today. As you can see, I'm really excited. By the way, I'm your host, Julissa Calderon. Soon I'll introduce you to our partners from Cool Speak. You're in for such a treat with those guys. They're such cool people. Listen up, because I know you're probably paying attention to either you're in school or you're doing something or you're around your friends. But listen, you're going to want to listen. We know 2020 has been rough, and we celebrate you all for giving it your all. This year, McDonald's has committed to doing more for you, for your teachers, your counselors, your parents, and your journey to higher education. Whether it's providing tools and resources to succeed in class or virtually, providing more scholarship opportunities to students, more access to workshops. In 2020, McDonald's is all about #Hacer more. We're here to inspire you, to move you, to inform you. We're going to honor those who are all about #Hacer more, and we're going to challenge you to #Hacer more. We want you to go ahead and be on social media. I know. Usually your teachers are like, get off of social media, get off of your phones. But today, for this workshop, we definitely want you to be on social media. We want to hear from you. We want you to post and to tag us. Tag us at McDonald's, at La Julissa, LAJULISSA, at Cool Speak, and more importantly, #Hacer more. All of the ats are right here. We have some very cool stuff coming your way, and you don't want to miss this. So don't forget to check your DMs, but also make sure your page is public. Again, I'm going to say that one more time for you guys. We have some very cool stuff coming your way. So you're going to want to use them hashtags. You'll thank me later. And yeah, that's right. Let us know. Oh, look at that. Look what just popped up. I'm just saying. That's right. So let us know you're here. Let us know you're enjoying the workshops, and share them all on your social media. We just want to see your beautiful faces, and let us know that you see us, that you hear us, and that you are ready to #Hacer more. We want you also to ask questions. So activate the chat window below. Okay? Let's talk. And one last thing before we get started. Have fun. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on. Well, speaking of passing on, you know what? Let me just pass it. Go ahead. Oh, you guys caught me in my little dancing stage. I feel always left out because nobody ever passes me la papita, and I want some papitas. But instead, I'm going to just have a drink because clearly I'm looking thirsty. I'm just messing with you guys. But I want you guys to stay here with me because we have so many cool things coming up. I'm sure you recognize some of those faces. If you haven't, you're going to recognize some of them now. Again, I just want to make sure you remember hashtag I said more, hashtag I said more sweeps. You know what that means? That's it. I'm just throwing it out there. If you kind of recognize one of the faces or didn't recognize, you're about to recognize one of them. And remember I said there's like some really cool people today that's going to talk to you and you're in for a treat. Well, one of them is coming right up. His name is Carlos Ojeda Jr., aka Chu. He's the co-founder of Cool Speak and a powerful and dynamic speaker. He is a son of Puerto Rican field and factory workers, first-generation college grad, former university administrator and professor. And Carlos Chu credits his academic success to his parents' love, persistence, and la chancla. Here's Chu.
Thank you, Julissa. So excited to be here. I see the chat is busy. All of my people's tuning in. So good to see you. Some of you I've seen before. This might be the first time. I don't care. I'm excited. My name is Carlos Alberto Ojeda Torres Rivera de Jesus Jr. But you don't have to worry about that. You can call me Chu because that's what my friends and family call me. And I got a real confession to make. When I was a kid, I was a bit of a knucklehead. I got in trouble all the time. In-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, detention, cualquier mention, I was there. I failed just about every single class I can get my hands on except one, gym. I was on the honor roll for gym, but math, English, science, I wasn't doing too well. And it got to the point where the teachers were fed up and they wanted my mom or my dad to come to school. And you know what? I didn't want any of them to come to school because my parents were straight up crazy. I had one of those little militant Puerto Rican moms that if you don't do what she tells you to do, ella te mata. She kills you. Don't laugh. She had a semi-automatic chancla. She was gangster, yo. And my dad was the opposite of my mom. My dad was this tall, diesel, evil-looking, dark-skinned Puerto Rican man, so ugly he deserved to be on America's Most Wanted. I didn't want any of them to come to school. So my parents, they robbed paper, scissors, my dad had to come. And we walked in, and I thought my dad was going to kill me, but I didn't figure he was going to do it in school. So we walked in, they gave him my file, he looked at it, he looked at all the trouble I was getting in, and then he starts to turn red. My dad's a dark-skinned Puerto Rican man. He's not supposed to turn red. And in this situation, he's not saying anything, which is freaking me out because the way my dad communicates with me is by yelling. Throw out the trash. Where's the remote? Even when he tried to communicate emotions, I love you. That's the way he talks. And in this situation, out of my father's mouth comes the sweetest, most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life. As he looks at the vice principal and he says, can I have a moment alone with my son? And I look at the vice principal and said, you can't leave me here with him. He's going to kill me. But the vice principal looked at me and said, you're on your own, kid. And he rolled out. And I started freaking out, but I was cool because I had a plan B. Because every plan A has got to have a plan B. And my plan B is simple. My father's old. I am young. I can outrun that fool. And as the door began to close, I was like, ready, set, go. Suddenly, my dad began to move faster than I've ever seen him move before in my life. It was like a Puerto Rican version of the Flash. He was like, un poquito de salsa. And he gripped me up and he slammed me in the chair. My whole life flashed before my eyes. And in this scary situation, I did what any young, brave Latino man would do. I started crying for my mom, mommy. And my dad's like, stop crying. But you know what happens when you're in the middle of crying and you try to stop crying, you start doing this. And then my dad looked at me and he said something completely unexpected. Tu abuela. And I was like, is she here? Because I could use all the help I could get right now. He says, tu abuela. Ella vino de Puerto Rico. She came from Puerto Rico. She spoke no English. Going up and down the East Coast, wherever she could find work, she came here with my 6 brothers and sisters chasing the American dream. From one farm to the next, looking for work, 13, 14-hour days. She would come home and her hands would be bloody. Her feet would be swollen. Her clothes would be ripped and dirty. And the very next day, she would do it again. And when my father abandoned us, have you ever wondered why you don't know your grandfather's name? That coward's name will never be mentioned in this house. What kind of man abandons his family? What kind of man leaves his kids? How the boy doing a man job. I've raised my brothers and sisters. I've worked those fields with my mother. I've worked in a factory my whole life so that you and your two sisters can have something better, mijo. Eres mi único hijo. You're my only son. You're my eldest. Eres mi tocayo. You're my namesake. Tú tienes mi nombre. You have my name. I love you. And I was like, oh my God, Mama Scara, Papi loves me. He said, I'm going to give you two options. I was like, dude, that's what's up. He said, you could stay in school and live, or you could drop out and die. I was like, Papi, those aren't options, but you know what? I'll stay in school and live. And then it was the moment that I realized that I needed to do something more, but it was hard. School wasn't easy. And instead of listening to the teachers that were looking out for me, instead of listening to the great, I listened to the hate, like my 10th grade geometry teacher who called me the greatest piece of garbage he'd ever seen in his life. I had another teacher tell me that I would never amount to anything, that I could either die or drop out, but I would never, ever, ever hold a diploma in this hand. But check it. From the moment you're born until you die, someone's always going to try and label you. Short, tall, fat, skinny, pretty, ugly, gifted, trouble, gay, straight, confused, illegal, undocumented. It's up to you to decide whether you live up to the labels that people try to put on you, or you rip those labels off, tear those labels up, and throw those labels away. Don't ever, ever, ever let anyone tell you who you are or who you're supposed to be. That's your destiny to fulfill, nobody else's. Don't ever, ever, ever let them define you. You define you, period. End of statement. No conversation. You and only you. If you're feeling what I'm saying, throw it up in the chat. But nobody told me these things. So I believed that I was garbage all the way until 12th grade. In 12th grade, everything changed. This really hot girl went to the guidance office, and I had a crush on her, so I followed her because I was looking for some guidance. And I walked in, and I was trying to get the girl's number, and this crazy Puerto Rican lady was just standing there. And I got the girl's number, and I felt good, and I was about to walk out when that lady just jumped in front of me and said, "You're going to go to college." And I very respectfully, very politely responded to her. Are you crazy? Do you even know who I am? I'm not the kind of person that goes to school. She's like, don't worry about that. You're going to go to college. And this lady was relentless. Everywhere I went, she was there. Everything I did, she was there. She called my mom at home, spoke to her in Spanish, called my dad at work, started talking about college, invited him to college fairs, college this, college that. Yo, she was straight up stalking me, yo. I was like, yo, I got to call the cops. What's the number for number 911? Okay, some of you got that joke. Some of you will get it later. And this lady, she invited me to visit her school. Free day out of school. And I was all about it because this lady was amazing. Yeah, she was beautiful, but it wasn't about that. It was about the way she spoke to me. No teacher had ever spoken to me the way this lady spoke to me. She told me that I wasn't garbage. She told me that I could go to school. She told me that I could help my family and change the trajectory of my family, that I can make the dream come true. She made me believe. So I went on that bus trip. We took a tour of the campus, and it was beautiful. And she took us into a room where they were going to start the presentation about the school. And I sat in the back with my headphone, and the lady walked in. And she walked up to me. She's like, you want to come to school here? I go, definitely. And she's like, you need to take the SAT. Now, what I didn't know then, and I know now, and I'll share with you, is this. I'm deaf. I only have 5% of my hearing. I have to wear hearing aids to help me. Normally, I have to wear 4 hearing aids connected to my phone. Without them, I cannot hear, which is great when your wife is yelling at you. You'll be sorry, baby, I got technical difficulties. You're going to have to come back later. But it's not cool when I'm your age. And everybody wants to label me a problem. Behavior problem, attitude problem, this problem, that problem. Every problem they could come up with, except for the one that I had. A hearing problem. I went undiagnosed until I was 23 years old. And when they diagnosed me, they told me I only had 47% of my hearing. That meant that half of my life went unheard, half of my life went unresponded to. Half of the I love yous my mom said to me, I may never have even heard. How did that happen? Simple. They labeled me. They labeled me shy. Does any part of me even remotely look shy to you? But this is the way it happens. I stopped raising my hands in class because every time I made the teacher repeat herself over and over and over again, it made me feel stupid, so I put it down. And I stopped talking to my friends. I stopped talking to my parents. And they said, oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, he's just shy. It's just a phase. He's going to get past it. It was torture. I was all alone. I literally wanted to take my own life. I was on my knees. I could not continue. I knew that there was something wrong, but I couldn't figure it out. I knew there was no way that I could go to college. I knew there was just no way I could do these things. And I know that there are people that feel that way right here, right now on the stream. Not because of the numbers, because the numbers say that you're feeling this way, but because I know everything that we've gone through this year, between the pandemic, the social isolation, the social injustice, the election, everything that has happened in 2020 have made you feel like you can't keep going. And now it's happening again. As schools begin to lock down, as everything starts to get worse, you start to feel like you can't take this anymore. You feel like you're on your knees and you can't. But in those moments when you are on your knees and you don't think that you can continue, it is those moments that you overestimate the challenge and you underestimate your strength, because you are stronger. You are not alone. You have people that love you, that care for you. Your mom, people that would die for you. Your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your grandparents, your best friends, your boyfriend. It could be the checkout lady at Walmart. I don't care who it is. You've got people on your side, people that will defend you, and you stand on the shoulders of people who have sacrificed everything for you. You are a legacy. You have family that are standing behind you, that have long since gone, but they are still with you. You are stronger. You don't think you can get past this pandemic, man? You can figure it out. You're having trouble with school? Work it out with your friends. Come up with Zoom groups that you can study and work this and crowdsource this. You have communities that need something or are lacking something to get together and make it happen, because you are stronger than this moment. You got to hold on to the things that matter. Your family, your friends, your culture, the things that matter to you, and you got to hold on to the people that matter. And the people that matter to me was my mom, my dad, my sisters, and that crazy Puerto Rican lady who believed in me, made me take my SATs. I was told that I was garbage, that I would never amount to anything, but I scored an 1100 out of 1600. That lady made me fill out applications to every school imaginable. Months later, she came to my house. She told me where I wanted to go to school. I pulled out all the letters of acceptance together. I got accepted to every school I applied to. She said, where do you want to go to school? I said, I want to go to your school because you believed in me. Now it's my turn to believe in you. She gave me a full tuition scholarship. And on graduation night, I was wearing a cap and gown. And when they called my name, Carlos Ojeda Jr., I walked on that stage like I owned it. And when I got closer and closer to the podium where they were giving out the diplomas, I started thinking about that teacher, the one that told me that I would either die or drop out, but I would never, ever, ever hold the diploma in this hand. And you know what? She was absolutely right. Because I'm left-handed and I grabbed it with this hand. And the moment I grabbed that diploma, there was like 100 Puerto Ricans in the audience screaming my name, choo-choo! And I ran into the audience looking for my family, looking through the crowd. I couldn't find them until finally the crowd parted. And I saw something I had never seen before in my life. My dad was crying. And before I could say anything, he just gripped me up, almost violently, like that fool didn't know how to hug somebody. He hurt my neck. My mom took a picture of it because she said this was the moment that changed our family forever. And my dad held me in his arms, grabbed the back of my head and put our foreheads together. So our eyes would meet and said, tú eres mi hijo, el hijo de Carlos Ojeda, and you can be whatever you want to be, go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do as long as you choose to. No dejes. Don't let them put you in the corner. No dejes. Don't let them take your voice, mijo. Tu voz es tu poder. Your voice is your power. And then he said one word, vete, go. And that was the moment. That was the moment I realized that I needed to rise up in order to wise up in order to rise up. That was the moment that I realized that my mother and father had sacrificed everything for me, had worked so hard, day in, day out, overtime, double time, triple time. all the way until my father worked until he died for our family. He made the ultimate sacrifice. That was the moment that I realized I needed to be more, do more. I needed to reveal more. I said more for my family. This is the time. This is what we need to do in these moments when we feel like we can't rise up. We need to do more and be more and reveal more. And that's exactly what I did. I took that scholarship. I became the first person in my family's history to go to college. Went to Bloomsburg University, got a business management degree with a focus in human resources, a minor in marketing, and a minor in law. Became president of just about every organization on campus. Graduated from college, first person in my family's history to ever graduate from college with honors. Got a job. My first job paid me more per hour than my mom and dad ever got paid combined in their lives. Helped them buy a house. By the time I was 23, I got my MBA. By the time I was 25, I was the youngest and only Latino professor in the history of my university. Left there to start to be director of a Latino business resource center. Helped start 300 businesses in 1 year. Left there to become a full-time motivational speaker. I have traveled this country and spoken to millions of students. And about 10 years ago, with my boy Ernesto, my brother from another mother, we started CoolSpeak, the youth engagement company. We are now a multi-million-dollar company, doing programming all across the country, working with amazing organizations like McDonald's, Hacer, inspiring people to do more, to be more, to ascend more. And I did it all because my family did it for me. They sacrificed everything for me. I did it all because that teacher did everything for me. She worked hard because those are the things that matter. You hold on to the things that matter and to the people that matter. And in those moments, you bring those two things together and you do more. You are said more. You be more. And that's why we're here. We're here because the scholarship, the Hacer scholarship is amazing. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to do more for yourself and do more for your family. This scholarship, that is funded by Hispanic owner-operators from across the country who have come from humble beginnings and rise up to be successful, and now they're giving back. And we want you to give back too. We want you to be part of our movement. We want you to go on social media, not for the cool things that Julissa saying, yeah, you do that, but we want you to share your story. Your voice is your power. Post a picture of your family. Let us know why you're doing what you're doing. Let us know who I said more for you and who you're I said more for others. Hashtag I said more. We want you to post on social media. We want you to use your power and become part of our movement. Use the hashtag I said more. Inspire others with your story. Let them know why you're doing what you're doing. And according to Julissa, you might also get some cool stuff. Right, Julissa? They might get some really cool stuff.
That's right, Chewy. That's right. Listen, every time I hear Chew's story, I feel like I'm back here. I'm like, I want to cry. It's so motivating and so inspiring. I hope they got inspired and they got motivated to hashtag I said more. That's it's so beautiful. I also loved, Chew, how you always talk about that Puerto Rican lady and the teachers who looked out for you, where I feel like we all have sometimes that one teacher or faculty member that has looked out for us. And for me, I have an amazing teacher that I always remember. Her name is Mrs. Johnson. And she was just so motivating. She just always looked out for me. And I love that. Don't you still feel like it was yesterday, Chew, that lady talked to you and motivated you and inspired you to push yourself?
It meant everything. That lady changed everything, not just about me, but my entire family. I will never be able to thank her. And if I have one regret, it's that I didn't thank her when that happened. I told too much about that. But what we decided to do... Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I also think that we have to give these teachers and these faculties the flowers while they're here, because we don't regret it. We don't want 20 years to pass by and then we're looking for them. Instead, we want to tell them right then and right now. And speaking of which, I think that's a perfect segue to go into something that this is my favorite part of the whole workshop. Sorry, Chew, I love your story. It's great. It's so motivating. It makes me want to cry. What? This is so good. I'd rather just show you all than tell you. So let's see it.
How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
Mr. Gardia, is that correct?
That's perfect. You said it the right way.
Why do you think they nominated you? What makes you so special? Why did they choose you?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm special. I mean, I'm just an employee here at Madera High School and been here for 29 years.
29.
Yeah, 29 years, yeah. And so I just, I work good with the kids with the ASB program. And my job is to do, I wake up every day, and when I come to work, I feel like I have 2,100 kids I have to take care of every day.
You consider them your own kids, so you take care of them like they're their own, like they are your own children.
Correct. When I leave my house, I leave my kids at home, or they're all working and do their own thing. And when I come to school, I feel like my job is to take care of these 2,100 kids on a daily basis.
And you obviously must be doing something right, that the students decided to acknowledge you, right? When I was a kid, I was a bit of a knucklehead. I was a bit of a troublemaker, but there were really awesome individuals in my school that they were there for me, right? They were always there for me. They supported me and they helped me. And they're the reasons why I can actually be standing here talking to you. But 29 years, that is, you don't see that much anymore.
It's called longevity, man. I mean,
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
during these trying times, it's not something that you see often. And apparently you're making an impact, sir, and we greatly appreciate you for that.
Well, I appreciate
that means
that
a lot
too.
to us. Let's have some of the students and staff share in their own words.
First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to you, because not only do you deserve this award, but you have shown the definition of hard work. Tony, you're an amazing person inside and out, and the impact you have had at Madera High and our community is above and beyond. Wherever you go, I can see you lending a hand not only to the students, but whoever's in need of it. From day to night, you work nonstop to ensure that our school and activities run smoothly, and even when doing so, you keep a smile on your face whenever I see you. I, as well as many others, such as our staff, our students, and ASB, want to say a huge thank you for all the time and dedication you have put into Madera High and Madera into making it a better place. I truly believe that Madera High would not be the same place without you.
And for Tony, it used to be blowing the cement concrete of the front of the school. Every morning I would be pulling up to work, hopefully on time. And his thing was he wanted that campus looking just immaculate. And that's one thing that we've always appreciated about Tony is that he always wanted everything to be not only done right, but look the best possible, and takes a lot of pride in his work. And if you ask anybody around the community, they all know him and they all speak really highly, and they'll all say the same thing, that he exemplifies what we would want in our community, not only as a classified employee, but as someone that's part of the Coyote family. So Tony, I thank you for helping us. I said more.
Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate that.
Congratulations, Tony. There's like countless situations where without you, Tony, I don't even know what ASB would have done, like getting us equipment, last minute favors, opening all these closed doors for us. Many times he would have to come earlier than usual and then take time out of your own tasks. But in the end, you always prioritize the students and prioritize our school. And having reliable people, like that's personally something that is very rare. And not something that you come across too often. So Tony, you are a rarity, since you are the definition of reliable. You single-handedly have allowed students at Madera High School to have all these memories for generations. So, and Madera High is a family, and although I'm a distant cousin to you, metaphorically speaking, your help doesn't go unnoticed. You are, I said more.
Appreciate that, Giovanni. Thank you.
Often for many of our jobs and what we do, people don't see that or notice it.
Well, I'm originally from Fireball.
How about your family, your parents? Where are they from originally?
My parents are no longer around, but they were originally, my dad was from Guadalajara, and my mom was from Burbank, California, yeah.
One of your parents is from Mexico. Mine are from Zacatecas.
Okay.
Elementary school for me was rather interesting because my mother did the janitorial work.
Okay.
Sorry. And She wasn't always appreciated. She wasn't always respected, and she wasn't always given the credit that she was due.
Mhm.
And just to see you, sir, know the students by their name immediately. For them to be happy and proud to share some words with you, that just means the world to me. That's amazing. And that speaks volumes of you, the upbringing you had, the work and effort that your parents put into you, and the work and effort that you're putting into all of the students, the staff, the administration, and the parents. So while the call was to recognize you and appreciate you, sir, I can tell you that for me personally, this means a lot. As an appreciation for all that you do, your dedication to our students, to our parents, to our professionals, to their families, anybody that goes to Madera High School by the sounds of it.
Mhm.
On behalf of McDonald's and CoolSpeak, we're giving you a $1,000 gift card to Walmart towards school supplies, anything that you feel is needed, as well as the McDonald's merch bag that I just showed you.
Thank you, Ernesto. I appreciate it. Everything you guys have done. I mean, this is like I said, Isaac set me up. This is what I expected.
We
Yes.
can give Mr. Cardiel a round of applause to show some more love and some more appreciation for him. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Cardiel, and
I really appreciate
congratulations.
that.
On behalf of McDonald's and CoolSpeak, you are celebrated, you are appreciated, and thank you for Hacer more.
Thank you guys. On behalf of Madera High School, I want to thank everybody. This is stunning to me.
Oh, I love that. It's so touching. That's like the best part of this whole thing. It just makes me so happy and feels so full. It also just like brightens my day. And speaking of brightening days, I hope that like maybe right now I could brighten some of your days, or one of your days. I have been watching my social media, been on my phone. I see you all tagging us. I see you tagging me, CoolSpeak, Hacer more, all of that. And I think we got to the part of the workshop where I'm going to give away something, which I told you all. I already told you from the beginning. Pay attention, tag us, engage in the conversation on the chat. Just be here, be present, have fun with us. I wish I could do like a drum roll, but if you're wherever you are, do a drum roll because I'm about to announce the first winner of the McDonald's tote bag and some AirPods. That's right. The first winner is Megan_Steel02. Oh, I love it. She said, we love Carlos. Ever since I saw him at FASC 2 years ago, he's been one of my favorite motivational speakers ever. Can't wait for the rest of the workshop. Congratulations, Megan. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being present. Thank you for hashtagging Hacer more and just being here. And I'm sure you're going to apply for the scholarship because you're already on point. We're still giving away more things, but right now I want to jump over to the other half of CoolSpeak for some more information for speaking of like the Hacer scholarship. I know you want all the information. If you don't have it already, this person is going to give it all to you. His name is Ernesto Mejia, and he is one of the co-founders of CoolSpeak. He is a proud product of Mexican immigrant parents. He's a family man, as you just saw. He got choked up talking about his mom. I love that. From college dropout to college dean, Ernesto likes to enable students to use education as a platform to change their families' lives. Can't wait to hear this. Ernesto, go ahead, take it away.
Thanks, Ulysses. I appreciate you. And for the record, I'm not crying. You're crying. It's just my allergies right now, okay? So let's just go with that for right now. Before I continue, I want to give another shout out to Mr. Cardiel, Tony. Man, you impacted my day, my life, and it was awesome to be able to recognize somebody for their efforts because it sounds like some people at Madera appreciate you, but now I think even more people from Washington, Idaho, Nevada, California, they all saw that. So shout out to all of them, and thank you for being a part of the tour. So again, everybody, welcome, bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Ernesto Mejía Macías y soy orgullosamente producto de Padres de Zacatecas, México. If you know speaky Spanish very good, please hold. I will say it the way my kindergarten through 6th grade teachers did. My name is Ernesto Majaya Messias. I'm the proud product of Mexican immigrant parents from Zacatecas, Mexico. Is that important to me? Yes, it is. And I'll tell you what else I'm the product of. Someone that used to clean my elementary school, someone that used to work in a factory, someone that used to work in the kitchens, someone that used to work in the apple orchards, and someone that I look up to, which are my heroes. My parents had those kinds of jobs. They didn't have an opportunity for an education. They didn't have an opportunity to apply for a scholarship. They didn't even get to high school. But just because they didn't have that opportunity, just because they didn't have an education, it did not at any point mean that I wouldn't get an education. So shout out to my parents, and give a shout out to your parents as well. And use the hashtag I said more. Give them a shout out and show them some love. However, there is some important information that we need to cover, y'all, so let's get to it. My first question is this. How y'all going to pay $35,000 for a private institution, $21,000 for public out-of-state, or maybe $9,000 for public in-state college education? Now, for some of y'all, those numbers are like, well, it's too high, it's too low, that's not accurate. Either way, it's a lot of money. And if it weren't for the folks that put this together, the Hispanic owner-operators, shout out to all of them, because they're the ones that put the funds together for these scholarship opportunities, we wouldn't know how to help out. We wouldn't be a part of this. And I can tell you, because I remember one of the gentlemen that I met, an owner-operator, he started off as the fry guy. And when I met him, he owned a couple of McDonald's. So it's not just about where you start, okay? Keep that in mind. It's about where you're going, what you're doing. So let's talk about this scholarship, y'all. The Hacer National Scholarship gives out 30 scholarships and a grand total of $500,000, okay? So that is $500,000 that they're giving away. It started October 5th, 2020. So it's already up, running, and available for you. The deadline is February 3rd, 2021. Do me a favor, y'all. Don't do like some of my kids might do. If I say the deadline's February 3rd, you start February 2nd, and then you go to your teacher that evening. Can I get a reference letter? Can I get some support? Can you edit this? Sure. When is it due? Tonight. Don't do that to them, and don't do that to yourself, okay? Now, where do you go? This is one of the most important parts of this entire workshop. Where do you go to apply for this scholarship? www.mcdonalds.com/hacer. For those of you that don't speak Spanish, I got you again. You can go to www.mcdonalds.com/Hacer. Either one of them is going to work. You all good. We got you covered. Either language, okay? It is a phenomenal opportunity. And I want to make sure that you know how much it means, because to give away $500,000 is no joke. It's not easy. And to give it out of your pocket like the owner-operators are doing, that says a lot about them, how much emphasis McDonald's and them put on education. So let's take advantage of this, okay? Now, let's talk about the things that we need to know, which are the requirements. High school seniors, 2.8 GPA. That meant that even my friends would have qualified in high school, because I probably wouldn't have. I didn't have the best of GPAs, just keeping it 100. 2.8 GPA, a lot of us have that GPA, which means that we can apply. Younger than 21 years of age, U.S. resident, eligible to attend a 2-year, 4-year technical school, a full-time student, and have one parent of Hispanic heritage. Yes, you heard me right, one parent of Hispanic heritage. If you have two, does it increase your odds? It most certainly does not. It just makes you more Hispanic. If you don't have one, don't worry. We have other scholarship opportunities that we will share with you as well, okay? So make sure that you're taking note of this, and make sure that you understand what you need to do to make this happen, okay? Now, in terms of the breakdown, the scholarships, I told you it's $500,000. 2 students, you heard me right, 2 students will win a scholarship to the tune of $100,000. I just want you to put that into perspective really quick. Imagine yourself going home and going to your mom, your dad. I don't know about you, but this is what I call my mom. So this is what I would sound like walking in the door to announce that I had won a scholarship. Ama! That's what I call my mom. Ama! Nos dieron una beca. They gave us a scholarship. They gave us a scholarship for $100,000. Can you imagine the joy, the excitement, the pride? And what you might not even imagine is the stress that you take off of their shoulders. And let me put it on the other side of the spectrum here for you, because you see the scholarships and the amounts. What if you told your mom or your dad that you got a scholarship for $5,000? $5,000 is no joke. That can help cover a lot. I'm not saying it's going to cover everything, but imagine yourself telling your parents, Mami, Papi, ganamos. That essay, that application, all that effort, it paid off. These are the scholarships that are available to you. 2 for 100,000. All of the other denominations, there's 2 of each. 2 for 50, 25, 20, 10, and 5, okay? Now, let's make sure that we understand some of the resources that are available to you, because I'm done with us saying, I don't know how to do it, or my mom can't help me, or my dad can't help me because they didn't go to college. Because you know what? Our parents are getting us to where we're at right now. So let's not put it all on them, and let's put some of it on us. The resources, go to mcdonalds.com/Hacer for the scholarship. FAFSA, for my seniors, if you have not completed your FAFSA yet, you are way behind. You are past the first day to apply. And why is it important? FAFSA works on a first come, first serve. If I have a big old pile of cash, I'm the government, and I give out FAFSA, it doesn't matter if the last person deserves it more than the first person. If I'm out of money, I can't give you any. Make sure that you submit your FAFSA. Go to www.fafsa.ed.gov. The Hispanic Scholarship has a phenomenal listing of scholarships for every student that's listening and watching right now. Go to hsf.net to check them out. Big Future, College Board. For those of you, I don't care what year you're in, if you're not using College Board, you're missing out on a phenomenal resource. I know that when my son used it when he was in high school, he would tell me, Bobby, this school is looking for these classes, for this type of volunteering, for this amount of work. It gave him a breakdown of what colleges and universities wanted in future students. But it also has a lot of other resources to understand the cost and things of that nature. CapEx is very similar, where it's going to give you a breakdown. It gives you an idea of the cost. It lets you know, and especially for private institutions, it gets your name in the ring over there too, okay? And the last one, which is our company, and when I say ours, meaning not just you and I, but ours, all of ours, CoolSpeak. We have all of these things listed on there as well for you, so you can check them out and you can use them, as well as some additional resources, okay? Now, and the other resources, because remember I told you, if you don't have any parents of Hispanic heritage, don't feel left out, because we don't want that to happen. That happened to me a little bit too much in college, so we made sure that that didn't happen to us here. The McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarships for our African American community. You see the link right there that you can use to go to it. For our Asian Pacific Islanders, we also have a scholarship for you as well. And here's another resource. The Archway to Opportunity is for those that are currently working at McDonald's. If you currently work at McDonald's, Archway to Opportunity gives you an opportunity to help fund your education, speak to a counselor and advisor to help you along the way, maybe even learn English as a second language. Porque si hablas dos idiomas, vales más. If you speak 2 languages, you might be worth a little bit more later, okay? So not only are those resources available to you, but also your family members. So Archway to Opportunity is another great resource that I want you to check out and that I want you to use, because it can greatly benefit you. If you already work for McDonald's, Archway to Opportunity can help you with that, okay? Now, how do I prepare? I want to make sure that I get all my high schoolers in here, because it's important to start early. So I'm going to give you real quick tips for each year, okay? My 9th graders, my freshmen, I want you to make sure you take a challenging course load. And I know it's even more challenging right now if you're learning virtually or hybrid, but make sure that you take a challenging course load, because in some cases, you might have some college credit by the time you're done because you started off with challenging course loads. Start your community service hours now. I have the honor of being on the scholarship committee to read some of these essays and to read some of the applications. And I'll tell you right now, nothing looks more impressive to me, grades and everything do, don't get me wrong, than to see a student that put in that community service effort from their first year in high school and not just their senior year at the very end. So start those community service hours now. For my sophomores, my 10th graders, prep for that standardized testing. Here's the easiest way that I can explain this to you. That test score could result in a full ride scholarship. You heard me right. The test scores that you get in one of those standardized tests could result in a full ride scholarship for you. Make sure you're studying, you're preparing, use free resources that are online to get you ready for those standardized tests. Stay involved in extracurriculars, y'all. That means get into a club, and I know it's even more challenging now, but stay involved, because if not, what makes you stand apart from the other 10th grader that has a 4.0 and you have a 4.0 if you're not involved, if you do no community service? This is why it's important that you stay involved, okay? Now, for my 11th graders, narrow down your college choices and prep for the standardized testing again. I already told you the importance of it, what it can do, and also, start looking at those colleges seriously, because you never know. You could start early and maybe even do something over a summer to get acquainted with that university, okay? And for my seniors, I got a list for y'all, so get ready, okay? Last round of standardized testing, apply to 5 to 10 colleges or universities. Excuse me. Apply for your FAFSA if you haven't. Apply for 75. You heard me right. 75 different scholarships. Why do we put that massive number out there? Because odds are very high that you'll start getting something the more you apply. Make the first one be the Hacer scholarship. If you can get into dual enrollment, feel free and do so. Take advantage of that. Bottom line, finish off strong. I know it's challenging. I know it's not easy right now, but finish off strong. Now, why is it important that you do all this, that you put your effort forth, that you take advantage of such an opportunity? A scholarship like this can truly change your life. A scholarship like this can make the difference in your life and in your education. But to me, I like to put myself in your shoes often. As you could tell, I'm the one that gets all choked up when talking about Tony, Mr. Cardiel, because my mom was the janitor of my elementary school. My mom used to tell me, mijo, if you don't speak Spanish, mijo means sexy, attractive, young Mexican male. If you do speak Spanish, that means son. She's like, mijo, you have one job. It's to do well in school. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I did well for a long time, but then I didn't. We tend to judge a book by its cover sometimes. You see me and you're like, well, he probably did everything right. And you know what? He probably has things easy, or he didn't have any challenges. But what you don't see is the struggles that I went through because my father and my mother were discriminated against. What you don't see is that I went to 6th grade twice, once in the US, once in Mexico. What you don't see is that my father was murdered when I was 13 years old. What you don't see is that I contracted a disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome that left me temporarily paralyzed and in a wheelchair, unable to dress myself, feed myself. And shout out to my brother and my sister-in-law for taking care of me when I was sick, because I couldn't do any of those things. What you don't see is me getting kicked out of college. You didn't see any of those things. And I want you to know that it means something to me to be able to be a part of something like this. Because these individuals right here, mi papá, mi jeton, mi mamá, my mom, I am my parents' American dream, just like many of you are. I didn't realize it till a late age. I didn't realize it till I was older. I'm hoping that you realize it sooner, because I'm going to tell you what, when you start dreaming big, when you start applying yourself, when you put effort forth, things can change. Let me tell you one last story and then we'll move on. When my mom would come home from her second job sometimes, her feet would be swollen, her ankles would be swollen, and the most excitement she could give me would be, mijo, ¿quieres ir a comprarnos unas hamburguesas? Son, do you want to go buy us some hamburgers? We had a brand new McDonald's open in our town then. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll get on my bike, go buy us some McDonald's. I didn't know how much joy I was bringing to my mom because she got a break. She didn't know how much joy she was bringing to me because I was down for my burgers. I didn't know what life had in store for me until I started trying a little bit harder, because now I get to call McDonald's a partner. Now I get to do some pretty cool things, such as last year, maybe bring out Bad Bunny on stage to surprise some students, something along those lines, attend the Latin Grammys. Little things that are perks of being partners with such a phenomenal organization. I don't want your parents to stress about paying for college. I don't want your parents to say, I can't help you, when they have helped you. They've instilled in you the tools that you need to succeed. Las ganas, la pasión, the responsibility, the work ethic. Some of our parents are killing themselves night and day for us to have a better life. Let's show them what we can do when we put in half the effort that they do into their jobs by applying for scholarships, by studying harder, and by being able to take care of them later once we get those college degrees. Because trust me, I tell you this from experience, those college degrees paid off and I'm able to take care of my loved ones, and that means the world to me. I want you to Hacer more, so make sure you're applying for these scholarship opportunities as well. And shout out to my girl, Julissa, for doing such a phenomenal job. I usually don't get an opportunity to give you a shout out too. Much love, much respect, and I'm honored to be able to share these screens with you right now, girl. So thank you, appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Ernesto. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. I wish I had someone like you and Chu who like push stuff like this, because I know in high school I didn't have the resources and stuff. My mom didn't know, single mom, 4 kids. She didn't have time to look for these things for me. So kudos to you. Kudos to Chu for doing this. I'm sure the kids are writing these things down, and it's so helpful for them.
Let's hope. There's some big money on the line here. Let's hope they take advantage of it.
They will.
Right.
Ernesto, are you a fan of spoken word? Because I love some spoken word.
I love it. And my favorite part of it is snapping fingers, because I can't even do like a roses are red poem. I got no skills in there. However, I appreciate it when others do. And I think we have somebody that really has a skill. You can share that.
That's right. We definitely do. I'm so excited about this part as well. I, like Ernesto, like to snap my fingers. Her name is Melania Lucia Marte, and she is going to speak so beautifully. And for me, it just, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead, Melania. Do your thing.
Get them ready.
If your American dream is bigger than it's supposed to be, listen up. This is for the all-nighters and the way too early bus riders. The ones paying homage to the past by hustling like there's no tomorrow. Los hijos de inmigrantes who become the bridge between la luna y el sol. This is where you shatter stereotypes and glass ceilings, where you honor abuelita's name and your parents' struggle. How their hearts smile at the sight of your success. You, the link that breaks generational chains. You, their heirloom, their legacy in motion. Confirmation que todo tendrá prosperidad. A promise to be more, hacer more, vivir more. So when they ask you where you're going, tell them in a voice that echoes back across borders and oceans that you will go as far as you choose to.
I hope you guys are doing this too. This is what you're supposed to do, just in case you didn't know. This is what you're supposed to do when someone just speaks to you through spoken word. I love that she credits, like, the ones that came before us. I think that's such a big deal. Your grandparents, your parents, they fought and did what they had to do so that you could have these opportunities. So please don't take them for granted, you guys. Do right by them, do right by them by doing this, by hashtagging Hacer more, by doing just that as well in your everyday life, and by applying to these scholarships, you all. Just so you know, I've been watching my social media. Listen, my phone is right here. I have been watching. You guys are hashtagging McDonald's. You guys are adding McDonald's, adding me, adding Cool Speak, but it all came later after you saw the first announcement and winner. I told you from jump. You needed to be present and you needed to pay attention. I'm seeing all of your pictures. I'm seeing all of I've seen some videos this time, which I've never seen in any of the other workshops. So I love that you all are here with us, hashtagging Hacer More, and just being present and enjoying this at the end of the day, because that's what it's about, right? It's about enjoying it and having fun. And I guess we'll continue the fun. And I think I should go ahead and announce the second winner. The second winner, again, is going to receive the McDonald's bag and some AirPods, and that is, I'm going to assume it's Giovanni, right? Gio X Bonnie, you have won some AirPods and the McDonald's tote bag. I love it, I love it, I love it. Look, he was like, I'm going to make sure I win. He put all of the handles, all of the hashtags. He already even put Si Se Puede. I love that. I hope that you apply to the scholarship, because Si Se Puede get the scholarship, okay? Do what you have to do. I think we've reached, also, I forgot to mention, check your Instagram DMs, because some of you might have won a $25 McDonald's Arch card. I know you guys were craving papitas, so go ahead and get that. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We've reached the end of this party. Thank you to Cool Speak. Thank you to Ernesto. Thank you to Chu for motivating us and inspiring us and moving us to hashtag Hacer More, and to all of you to go ahead and apply for these scholarships. The money is there. It's free money, you guys. Take advantage of it. Like, hear from me. I wish I had something like this and knew about this when I was in high school. So take advantage of it. Thank you to McDonald's for all of this. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to myself for hosting it all. And thank you to you, most importantly, for being here, for being present, for having fun, for engaging. We're so proud of you already, and we know that you're going to do so much more. So the party's over, but there's always an after party, and the after party is happening right now. So go ahead and tune in. Stay here with us. We are going to have some Q&As, and yeah, let's do this. Thank you, guys. All right, where are my guys at? Hey!
Julissa, I think we still have one more gift to give away. The big one. The big one.
I think somebody saw their face. I think somebody saw their face on there, and they're like, "Whoa!" And then it went away. So, guess what? Double excitement.
We're gonna leave.
I'm sorry. The big winner is Jessica Castellon 2. Jessica, you just won a laptop. How amazing is that? I think that's like the biggest thing. I'm sorry that I messed up earlier, but girl, look at that. We're fixing it. I see you have one. Now you have another one. So excited for you. Congratulations. Now you have no choice but to go ahead and apply for these scholarships. Now we'll jump into Q&A. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You got to see yourself like, wait. Why was I on the screen?
Huh?
I'm sure she was like, yo,
girl,
why was I just on the screen? What just happened?
I know.
I saw my picture on the screen.
It's like the person that, like, I feel like I was that person that was walking out of the party, and then the song that I really love came on in the party, and I was like, well, let me go back to the party.
You want to know something, Lisa? Let me share with you that this amazing young girl actually was writing in the chat that going to a small school in a small town is difficult to keep going, be successful, and she pulled out and won the laptop. So everybody's tripping on the chat because everybody was giving her a lot of love and affection, like, yo, you got to keep it going, never quit, this, that, the other. And now she won. So she says she's crying because she just won the laptop. So it's an awesome day. Awesome day.
That's so awesome, Jessica. Yeah. I'm sorry that I put it out for you in the way that I did, but that's not a problem. The success of it is that you got a laptop, and that I'm sure you're having tears of joy right now. So congratulations. That's
just
so cool. Basically. So do we have some questions? Let's just jump into this Q&A because I know they want to hear from you all. What's the first question? All right. It is from Sasha, and she asked, what are some questions I should ask my counselor about higher education? Love that question. Ernesto, you want to answer this?
Yeah, so you're going to make a long list, Sasha. Let me tell you that for sure. But some of the questions that you need to ask and we need to keep in mind, what majors do they offer? Don't pick a school because they have a great basketball team, football team, and you ain't got no skills on either one of those fields or courts. Make sure that you're picking a school because it has majors that you're interested in. The cost, there's a misconception between private and public sometimes because private might cost more initially, but they might offer you more. So look at those things. But also find out, for some of us, it's important, depending on where you come from, what does the college campus look like in terms of demographics? Are there other students that look like me, sound like me, might appreciate me, that I'll get along with? These are simple things that you can ask, but more importantly, ask them if they have a connection there. Meaning, do you know somebody there? Do you know a counselor, a professor, a student that I could talk to? Because that could help me as well.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the things I always like to tell students to ask counselors is, what do I have to do to get to college, right? Because college is point B. You got to figure out what point A so you can know the distance between them. Where am I at academically? What do I have to do depending on the year I'm at, whether I'm 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade? What do I have to do to get there? Because, we all know that destination point, but we got to figure out what the starting point is so that we know the distance between those two. So asking that question is like, give me a list of everything I got to do to get where I want to be.
I love that. I think that's super great. I did not ask any of those questions, actually. All right. We also have Jose, who asked, what was the biggest obstacle during high school you had to overcome? True. I mean, this is perfect for you.
Well, yeah, I already said that, but you know what, Julissa? Since you have been rocking it out at the host, we're going to switch it up. I'm asking you, what was the biggest obstacle for you in high school?
I think my biggest obstacle was staying focused. I was very much a popular girl. I come from the hood, right? So I was a girl from the hood and being a popular girl, but also really smart. So it was interesting because none of my friends were in my AP classes. And so they weren't doing what I was doing. So trying to stay focused and being like, oh, I got a test tomorrow, versus going out at night like my friends were doing. That was kind of probably my biggest thing. But luckily, I graduated actually with a 4.5 GPA and went to the University of Florida. So I focused. I think I focused.
You're focused enough to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Ernesto? Sorry, what?
No, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know this. I'm gonna be really honest because I'm such a transparent person. So I loved what you said about asking your guidance counselor like those questions. For me, I chose the school that I went to because it was the #1 party school in the nation at the time, and it ended up being the best school ever, right? But that's what I made my decision on, and then I ended up being at such a University of Florida, such an amazing school. But yeah, I mean, if they are the #1 school in some things, they're probably the #1 school in a lot of things too. So yeah, but listen to our initial ask those questions. Don't be like me, be like you.
Well, and it's important too, especially right now during these times, to know that the biggest obstacle in all reality is ourselves. Getting that motivation to get up, getting that energy to log on, staying online, reading on our own, learning on our own. So right now, I think it's us even more so than before. Not that it wasn't us before, but just keep pushing because this degree isn't just for you. It might be for somebody else too.
I love that. Absolutely.
We got a couple more questions, but before, I want to remind everyone, there's still stuff to have. I know Julissa has been giving out prizes, but we are also giving out, me and Ernesto wrote a book called Getting Gear, which is a college readiness book. It has everything you need to know to get to college, all the information, talks about essays, you name it, applications, the whole nine. We are giving it away for free today. You get a free electronic version of that book. All you have to do is scan the QR code right underneath me and answer the evaluation. Tell us how we did. They threw it up in the chat too. But if you fill out the evaluation, you get the book for free. You get to download the electronic book and start utilizing it to get you where to go to college. Ernesto, here's a question for you. When they get the scholarship, can they accept more than one, or is it just limited to one scholarship? So the student said, hey, I applied, I said, I get it. Can I get other scholarships?
It just depends on the need. So we're not going to overload, and end up giving you $1 million, even though we wish we could, when instead we could help another student out to help them get an education as well. So it depends on the amount of scholarships that you get, your financial aid, all those things play a factor as well. However, if you win it and it's the only one that you win, then you're going to get it. However, if you win it and it's one of 24 that you win, first, props and kudos to you. Secondly, let's share the wealth. Let's make sure that we're allowing another student to take advantage of it so that they could use that opportunity to fund their education.
Maybe it's because it's the end of the day and I'm hungry. But one of the questions is, what is your favorite Hispanic food? So I'm going to throw it out there. What the whole panel, what's your favorite Hispanic food?
I mean, I'm actually hungry too, so I would love to answer this question. I'm Dominican, for those who don't know. So for me, if you know anything about Dominicans, it's like everything has to do with plátanos. And I'm going to go ahead with a mango, which is mashed plantains, and some fried salami, fried cheese, and some eggs. It's called mango con los tres golpes. That's my favorite.
Wow. Now I'm hungrier.
Yeah, E, what about you?
Tengo que representar a mi gente. Who invented the taco, people? Come on now. El taco, ya sea del pastor, ya sea de lengua, tripas, I don't care. I eat everything under the sun. I love me some tacos. And if I had to go with plan B, enchiladas.
Mira para allá.
How about you, Chu? Tell me,
Puerto
Boricua.
Rican, so I got my 1 and 2. I got my empanadas, my pastelillos, all right, with meat and cheese, and mofongo. They're like plantains. I love the mofongo with some pernil right in the middle. Oh, girl, that's everything.
That's good. That's really good. I love some mofongo too. We have any more questions?
Right. We got one last question, Ernesto. If they're a half black, half Latino, can they apply for the African American scholarship and for Latino scholarship? Can they do both?
Absolutely. The requirement on this end you saw was one parent of Hispanic heritage, so you qualify. I can't tell you the requirements for the other scholarships, but everything that I know and that I've experienced tells me that you do qualify. So make sure that you apply. Take advantage of any opportunities that are out there. You have to apply for everything that you can. You can't say that you're not going to win because, one, you're not on the scholarship committee. Two, you don't determine it. If you don't apply, you're not going to get anything, so you can't determine who's going to win. So absolutely you qualify, and I wish you the best of luck, and I dare you to apply.
Wow. The questions are coming fast and furious. What are some tips that we can give them to stay motivated during home learning? That's a big one. And I'll jump in and say, you got to have a routine. It's real hard, but you got to keep it going. You got to have a routine. In our house, I've got 3 kids. I've got a first grader, a middle schooler, and a high schooler all doing, virtual learning. And we literally have routines from the morning to the night. We do our homework at the same time. We do our work. We have lunch at the same time. We get up at the same time. They make their beds. They're doing all this stuff because routines actually help them stay on that grind and keep their brain in the right framework for this kind of virtual learning.
I agree. And if I could add anything else, it's just to make have a planner. If you don't have a planner or a board or something where you could write your day down and all the things that you have to do, whether it be to apply to that scholarship or you have an essay due, make sure you write all your things down and have it. That's the easiest way. You'll never forget anything and you'll never miss out on anything.
Absolutely. This is a workshop that I do, so we could take another hour, but we won't. One, use your networks because you're already socializing. Trust me when I tell you that I know that they're giving you an exam and you messaging everybody to get the answers. You finding out what's going on, who did it first, what was the question on there. Use that network to keep you accountable. But more importantly, we're going through this educational journey and we don't even know why. Some of us, especially in high school, we're supposed to. But that's not your why. What is your reason? Why do you want to graduate? Why do you want to get good grades to get a scholarship? why do you want to continue to whatever it is that you want to continue after high school? Once you figure out that why, you'll find that intrinsic motivator that's going to push you a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, they're now just thanking us.
Okay.
So someone said that their favorite Hispanic meal is, of course, El Big Mac. El Big Mac.
Get down with the
But,
As long as they made it themselves, that's great. If they made it like, towards their catering, whatever. It is what it is. Love what you love. Be you.
Really quick before I forget too, I gave a shout out to Yulisa and to Chu too. Thank you for everything you're doing, but also to the other side over here, I think. Montoya, I appreciate you. Jessica, who was just nonstop. She's been doing a phenomenal job. I appreciate you and the rest of the team that's behind the scenes that you all don't see. Thank you all for everything that you do, in particular the Hispanic owner-operators for allowing this opportunity to happen for all of us.
Absolutely. Thank you to you all as well. Thank you to everybody who joined us. We have one more workshop and we're done. Chu, how do you feel about that?
I'm excited, and the kids were asking. They were asking if there's going to be another event. Yes, this Saturday for you and your parents, not just for you. If you enjoyed this, imagine you bring your parents. We're going to bug out. We have Julisa's going to be there, Ernesto's going to be there, I'm going to be there, and we're bringing Joaquin Zihuatanejo, who happens to be an award-winning teacher and the spoken word poetry world champion. He won the World Cup. He's going to be joining us. We're going to have sessions for parents, for students. It's going to be a trip. We're going to bug out. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to give prizes. It's going to be dope. Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. You got to do the time zone math for the rest of them, right? But 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. And we'll see you on Saturday. So come on, everybody, family, bring your little sister, your little brother, bring your prima, bring the checkout lady at the bodega. I don't care, but you bring them on Saturday for the event because it's going to be dope.
Crying is not a requirement for Saturday, y'all, so don't worry. You don't have to cry, It just happens to some of us sometimes when we get choked up.
Allergy, bro. Allergy.
It's good. It's good. It's okay to cry. It allows you to feel, you fill yourself up with emotions. That's a great thing. And I'm super excited for Saturday. If you thought this was fun, Saturday, like you said, we're going to bug out. We're going to have a good time. It's Saturday, so we want to enjoy it and have some more fun while we're doing all of it. Tell everybody because we're doing so much. We're doing so much. I won't give it all away, but it's going to be fun. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Love.